الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في كلامه العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون صدق الله العظيم. All praise and glory be to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, nourisher, sustainer, provider, protector and controller of every single thing exists. Peace and salutation be upon the most beloved to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our master Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, on his family members, the companions, the sahabas, the tabi'een, the tabi'un, and all those who continued the legacy of our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and who sacrificed to convey the message to humanity. May Almighty Allah's peace and salutation be upon all of them and all of us who are present here. My respected brothers and sisters and elders in Islam, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously requests us, reminds us to be conscious about Him, about our Creator, Lord Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is reminding us continuously saying that, Ittaqullah, fi Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant me and you and all of us the taqwa, the conscience that will help us to navigate our life in this world, and that taqwa which will guide us and help us to navigate our situation in Akhirah. We are in the month of Sha'ban. All of us are expecting the month of Ramadan. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Oh Allah, make us reach the month of Ramadan and make us amongst those who will be bestowed His mercy on the month of Ramadan, and those who will be successful and victorious in month of Ramadan as well. My respected brothers, today's Jumu'ah is a very brief message and a motivation for me and each and every one of you. In Surah Al-Imran, Surah Al-Imran consists around 200 verses. This surah was revealed in Medina when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was facing lots of difficulties from Ahlul Kitab, the people of book. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had a lot of hope. The people of book have received, and they have received the message from Torah and Injil. So he thought that he's going to get a support from them. In fact, their behavior, their plan and plot against our beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam disappointed him. And Surah Al-Imran is very beautiful surah. It speaks mostly about the Christians and Jews. In the end of those surah, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us certain dua, supplication, as we as believers, what we supposed to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those du'as, the supplications, helps us to be steadfast in our situation in our life. We should never ever lose hope. We should never ever lose hope. And the entire Quran and the Seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is filled with optimism. Optimism. Each and every one of us individually, we have a lot of disappointments and betrayals. Each and every one of us in our business life, our family life, wherever we go amongst our friends, those who think that, they're going to be with us, sometimes they will disappoint us. Our beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam faced all these betrayal from his own family, from his own uncles, lots of disappointments in Makkah, in Medina, in everywhere. But our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never gave up. He never gave up. In the most lowest of lowest level, when the Sahabas didn't have anything, in the time of Khandaq, the battle of French, they were surrounded with enemies. They thought, what's going to happen? All enemies got together. All enemies, they got together and surrounded the Medina. that situation, Our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never gave up, and he actually motivated the Sahabas. He reminded them, I'm just cutting it short, he reminded them, you are fearing and you're worrying about your situation now. Allah has promised us the Romans, the Persians, the kings and the kingdom of Yemen, all this kingdom will submit themselves to us. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And sallallahu alayhi wasallam, once in Mecca, Sahabas was going through difficulty, and they asked, Mata Nasrullah, when we will receive the help of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam asked them a question, do you have any doubt in this deen, in this iman, in Islam? Do you have any doubt? And he said, Wallahi, a time will come, ma balagha al-layl wal-nahar. This message, this Islam, this mission, this faith will reach wherever the day and night, wherever sun rises and sunset, wherever the light reaches, this deen and iman and Islam will reach. My respected brothers, when you look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the seerah is optimism. When we lose someone in our family, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, seerah, looking at it, it comforts us. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam buried all his children except for Fatima radiallahu anha while he was living. Just imagine, all his daughters, Zainab, Ruqayya, Kulsum, all his sons, Abdullah, Ibrahim, Qasim, all of them were buried from his own hand. Fatima radiallahu anha was the only one who survived, and she actually lived. She had so much of hope. In the time of sallallahu alaihi wasallam's departure, the glad tidings that she received was that, she will be the first person to meet him in Jannah, to meet him in Qiyamah, meet him after, the departure of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She passes away from amongst the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So my respected brothers, the seerah and the Quran gives us optimism. O believers, sabiru. Isbiru wa sabiru. Be patient. Have competition in being patient. Sabiru means you have compete each other in perseverance. Warabitu, steadfastness. Don't give up, hold on to it. La'allakum tuflihun, you will be victorious. My respected brothers, this is the message for our youngsters who are here. Lots of youngsters, they keep asking, what is happening in Gaza? What is happening in Palestine and Rafah? So much of oppression. The whole world is keeping quiet. When is Allah's help will come? We really do not know what is going on there. But one thing is sure, that Allah's help is there, and they are being patient, and Allah is testing us. Our duty is to make dua for them. Our duty to, encourage each other. The more they go through trial and difficulty, it is a sign the future is going to be bright for us. Future is going to be for the people who are righteous, those who are, sticking to haqq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help is there. These things, whatever you see, it should not demotivate you. It should motivate you to be steadfast in your prayer, steadfast in your salah, in your sadaqah, and getting closer to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my dear respected brothers, the seerah and the Quran gives us one message, that we as believers, we have not come to live and enjoy this life. This life Allah has given us so that we prepare the future of our children, future of our generation. It is a continuation, and we prepare our future in akhirah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah wal tandur nafsum ma qaddamat lighad. O believers, wal tandur nafs. We should take account of, see what I have sent forward for day of Qiyamah. What I have sent forward. This is very, very important. Our youngsters have to be given this hope. Whatever happens, stick to haqq, stick to the righteous path, stick to the guidance, stick to the guidance of the ulamas, the guidance of the elders. Connect yourself with Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hold on to it. Stick to the basic. It's your 5-time prayer. Your Fajr Salah with Jama'ah, stick to that. Your Isha Salah with Jama'ah, stick to that. Stay away from haram. Raise your hands and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have a very strong communication with Almighty Allah. He will never ever let you down. He will never ever let you down. My dear respected brother, even in the lowest situation, our beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave us hope. Gave us hope. We always have to take responsibility for what is happening around. We cannot blame others. Take responsibility and do what you can do. Contribute from your side what you can contribute, and then raise your hands and ask Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my respected brothers and elders, this is the message. Today is the 5th of Sha'ban. That the 3 khutbahs, we are reaching month of Ramadan. Let us plan our month of Ramadan. Let us see that how I can get closer to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My spiritual upliftment, my moral upliftment, my connection with Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, engagement with my Quran. That's very, very important. I engage, with Quran and uplift ourselves individually, as a family and community. May Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove all the difficulties that we are facing, especially may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help our brothers and sisters in Gaza, in Palestine, and all those who are oppressed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieve and give them success. May Allah grant them victory. My respected brothers, Allah is not aware of, Allah is not neglecting what the oppressors are doing. Don't worry about it. Allah will take care of the oppressors. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ غَافِلًا عَمَّا يَعْمَلُ الظَّالِمِينَ. Allah He is well aware of what He is doing. Allah is giving them chance, opportunity to do tawbah, to ask forgiveness. After even how much of destruction they have done, they create chaos, they come out, they create, riots in this country, riots everywhere. They come out and they ask publicly pardon. Allah is ready to forgive. Allah is ready, and we are ready to forgive them as long as they are sincere in their forgiveness. As long as they are sincere, Allah will forgive them and Allah will accept them. Allah will grant hidayah. Even each and every one of us, we have to be sincere in asking forgiveness and getting back to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'd. Amma ba'du fa ya ibadallah. أوصيكم ونفسي أولا بتقوى الله وطاعته، فإن التقوى تنجيكم من عذاب الله وتدخلكم إلى الجنة. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون. فيا أحباب الكرام، أحسنوا أعمالكم في السر والعلانية واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله مع المتقين. أقول قولي هذا، استغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وحبيبه وخليله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد. أما بعد فيا عباد الله، اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وارض عن ساداتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي رضي الله تعالى عنه وعن سائر صحابة المتبعين، وارض عنا معهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا. اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام، ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك قريب مجيب الدعوات يا قاضي الحاجات. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين المظلومين في غزة وفي فلسطين وفي كل مكان. اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا، اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا، اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى من كيد الغاصبين الظالمين المحتلين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اكتب الأمن والسلامة على العباد والبلاد، اللهم اكتب الأمن والسلامة على العباد والبلاد، خاصة في فلسطين، خاصة في فلسطين. اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان، اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. عباد الله، أقم الصلاة إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا.